A very good afternoon, and thanks for clicking on to Vogan's European Outlook for the 24th of May. It is Tuesday afternoon, and we're in the midst of a fairly unsettled week of weather with an active jet stream coming off North America. Upper level winds, in fact, touching 150 miles an hour over the North Atlantic, and with a fairly west east flow, we're seeing our systems coming straight in across the top of the British Isles, bringing spells of wind, rain, and in between sunshine and showers. In case you wonder, I'm going to end any sort of speculation before it begins. I'm parked up in a lay-by on the A17. I'm on my way between Holbeach and Wakefield. So in case anybody's wondering what the noises are in the background, it is traffic, it is cars, lorries and buses driving past me. So, anyway, GFS, you can see here, this is the latest run, and we've got plenty of weather around at the moment. One area of low pressure that brought some pretty heavy persistent rain across northern portions of the British Isles yesterday. That is into the near continent. We're left with a legacy of sunshine and showers. Where you do get the showers, it could be pretty heavy with hail, gusty winds, and possibly even thunder and lightning associated with those as well. Where the sun is shining feels very pleasant indeed. That system clears through, and then we've got the next feature coming through during the course of tomorrow, Wednesday. Isobars squeezed together. We've got a fairly tight gradient between 1028 millibar high near the Azores, or just east of the Azores. Area of low pressure between Greenland and Iceland at 984 millibars. It's actually disturbances running in between those two main features that is enhancing the weather, enhancing the wind, the shower activity, longer spells of rain, and keeping the temperatures reasonably subdued for the time of the year. As we rattle through the rest of this week, we've got another feature that comes through during the course of Thursday, and then high pressure starts to nudge its way northwards over the UK for the weekend here. And interestingly enough, the current and latest run of the GFS is indicating that that area of high pressure actually maintains itself, for the large part anyway, through the weekend and then through a good part of next week actually, which is quite interesting. And with this area of high pressure moving in, lighter winds, more in the way of sunshine, less shower activity, we're going to see the temperatures respond in probably mid to high teens very widely, and also low 20s, I think, is pretty much a given with this type setup here. But notice here that we still have quite a blocky type pattern where systems are kind of getting blocked, getting pinballed around kind of stationary or semi-stationary areas of high and low pressure. So it is a very blocked up type pattern still, and there is no clear-cut signal in terms of the end of May, early June solution. But high pressure looks as if we're leaning more and more towards, and with higher pressure means drier weather, so to speak here. So that is the idea, the setup here of the GFS for the next several days here, leading us to the early portion of June. Looking at the ECMWF, however, that is a slightly different outlook. The next few days it's pretty much the same as the GFS. But if you happen to notice here, if we go back to the current setup here, we've got, of course, the sunshine and showers today. Frontal system moves through during the course of tomorrow. That moves through. We're left with more sunshine and showers. Always drier, brighter, warmer, sunnier across the south of the UK. High pressure comes in. Notice here we've got a kind of northwesterly component. We've got some showers coming in on that northwesterly wind during Friday. High moves in, but the area of high pressure itself tends to be a little bit further west and opens the door more to that north to northeasterly flow during the early portion of next week. So instead of having the GFS solution with the high is centered right overhead, we've got more of a kind of northeasterly airflow, dragging in fresher, cleaner, cooler air from the northeast into the UK. That essentially will kind of trim back the temperature, so to speak, not allowing it to rise particularly high during the daytime. It will kind of cap off probably in the kind of upper teens to around 20 degrees. GFS solution probably seeing the temperature rising just that wee bit more. Also interesting that we have more of an ECMWF breakdown in the pattern early next week, as opposed to the high lingering through early to at least mid next week. It looks as if the ECMWF has low pressure moving back in once again, bringing more disturbed weather. And this is what I mean. The uncertainty levels are very high at the moment, given the overall setup. And like I've said already, the summer forecast is going to be a tough one to call. I need to make up my mind very soon. It could go either way, folks. I would suggest that I'm leaning more towards warmer than normal. But are we warmer and drier and sunnier than normal, or are we warmer and wetter than normal? Because we've got a lot of warm water surrounding the British Isles, and a lot of things need to be clarified and determined. You know, things like the Madden-Julian oscillation, the type of tropical activity that we get in the Atlantic, even the Pacific, has a massive impact on the overall upper level driving mechanisms that for these areas of low pressure and high pressure. There is a lot of things that is quite complex and hard to pin down, and that is something I'm working on quite a bit, at the moment here, to try and determine exactly where we're going with this summer season. Even the month of June isn't really written in stone, I don't think. So there's going to be a little bit more time spent over the next few days trying to understand what's going on, because the modelling isn't very they're not particularly great tools at the moment for long range forecasting. They're up, they're down. They show one thing, they might show it for several days, then they start to back off. They may go the opposite of what they originally said. Very difficult then to therefore determine a long range forecast. And it just seems to be, as time goes on, it's becoming harder and harder to forecast long range, because a lot of things are different now compared to what they were even 10 years ago. With the warmer world that we live in, the modelling and certain key signals, such as the North Atlantic Oscillation, Arctic Oscillation, the IOD, the Indian Ocean Dipole, the La Nina, the El Nino, warmer than normal sea surface temperatures in a broader area, a warmer atmosphere overall, means that the parameters have changed, have shifted, and it's becoming harder and harder to forecast long term compared to, like I said, even 10 years ago. It's amazing how much the world has changed, both atmospherically and oceanically. The parameters are quite a bit different, and it's therefore a lot harder, I think, to forecast long range. So like I say, it's becoming more and more difficult as we go forward. But anyway, I'm going to end with this. This is the GFS ensemble, upcoming 5 days, and it looks as if actually we're slightly below normal temperature-wise. Average to slightly below average temperatures, I think, is the theme over the next 5 days. In the 6 to 10, we do see that area of high pressure moving in, so the GFS ensemble indicates that we're starting to warm things up as well as dry things out as well. Warmer than normal Iberia, warmer than normal across the south of of France and the west, cooler than normal, if you notice here, across central portions of the continent. And then the 11 to 15 day, we're starting to lose the warmth over Central Europe. We're starting to see warmth taken over. Looking at the precipitation here, upcoming 7 day period, we've got somewhat drier than normal conditions here. We're going to lose the rain in the next few days. We're going to see that area of high pressure build in. Like I say, ECMWF versus GFS, what's the right model? Because, of course, ECMWF has a wetter solution to next week, where the GFS is drier. So we're going to have to keep our eyes close on that. The 6 to 12 day period, drier than normal, firmly drier than normal, if you notice here, across the UK and across Ireland. And this is another thing, of course, if we have seen increased rainfall it's going to become quite a wet. It's become a wet May, should I say? But we could see a change back to drier than normal, and with drier than normal and high pressure at this time of the year, pretty much bet your bottom dollar that it's going to be warmer than normal. Positioning of the high as it develops, as it builds, again, all open to question because you have the high further west, you open the door to cooler winds coming in from the north, you have the high overhead, and you can have like kind of home brewed warmth day by day. Temperatures respond with the sun, and then of course if you get the high to the east, you open the door to the south, pull in air from Africa, from Spain, France. You've got really warm conditions. In fact, summer-like warmth. I think high pressure will become a main factor as we go through the month of June, but exactly where that materializes and where that positions itself is going to be key. Finally, taking us out to the 2nd through the 9th of June, drier than normal is the theme. So so I'm going to continue to keep this keep our eyes close to the pattern as we go forward here. As always, please like, share, and subscribe. Do appreciate you watching and keeping it right here on the YouTube channel and marfoganweather.com. A couple of days from now, I will have a summer forecast. I will also have a June outlook as well, so stay tuned for that. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Tuesday. Bye for now.